Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hey, here we come. Ready or not, Red Rover, we dare you over. Kelly Sutton. Eric Markham is in this morning. Billy Boy Cody. Annie Nye is our studio director. She's back from Italy. And Jeff Roberts, Rock Solid Roberts, is up in master control. Got an eye on us this morning. So you may remember recently we had a zebra on the loose for the longest.
Yeah. Isn't his name Eddie?
Was it Eddie?
I think so. I'll double check that, but yes.
And then I think one morning you may have been out, but we had emus somewhere across the United States that had gotten out, and then the guy got them. They called a guy who was an emu wrangler who lived nearby, and he thought they were his, and then he goes to get them, and he realizes they're not.
Oh, yeah.
And these are not my emus, and so they did find the owner.
That's a hard thing to do. We did emu chasing in high school. Yeah.
Is it a sport?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. After the basketball game, you hang out in the Walmart parking lot looking for things to do. You find yourself at the farm chasing emus.
And yesterday,
dangerous.
who did Running of the Bulls in Pamplona, Spain?
Stormy Warren's oldest
okay.
son. Yeah. And I think he's actually touring with Zach Top. So I don't know if Zach did it or not. Zach kind of looks like the guy that would stand on the side, smoke a cigarette, and watch everybody else do it. But I don't know. I'll find out. But I do know he was in the middle of it.
This is a CBS story out of Snowmass, Colorado.
Okay.
A bull escaped from a ranch and went on a 5-day chase, because that's about how long the zebra was out here in Middle Tennessee, wasn't it?
Gosh, it felt longer, but yes.
Yeah.
He was out for a while.
He was tracked down and taken home. Answers to the name Sauce Boss. Isn't that a great name? Ladies, the Sauce Boss is back in town.
Listen, if there is not a local place that has Sauce Boss as either their slogan or on the side of their car, like, that is a missed opportunity. This was free marketing for somebody.
Yeah.
If they don't have a sauce now that's called Sauce Boss, what are they doing?
You mean tell you my contributions to Opry and a latest branding thing. We were in a think tank.
Okay.
And I just said, Opry 100 proof. Have we teamed up with a bourbon yet?
Brilliant.
Right? Let's get us some whiskey.
I mean, every country store has something. We can reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
Get that happening. That's brilliant. Good job. All right. Well, you know what goes along with that? Cheez-Its. We'll get some Opry 100 proof and some Cheez-Its. We've been talking about that all morning because they're gluten-free. But yes, coming up in entertainment headlines, we have a lot to discuss, including we're wishing all the best for Ray Stevens, an update on his health scare that he had on the 4th of July. Also, this just out, Dolly says all new music is going to be put on hold. She went on a podcast and she was talking about it, and she was like, I'm going to push pause for a minute, which is very unlike Dolly. So we'll get to the bottom of that. We talked a little bit about the Disney closures for all my Disney friends out there. If you're going to the Magic Kingdom, it's going to look a lot different for a while. We'll give you some more updates on that. We have some video that goes along with it.
And speaking of gluten-free Cheez-Its, and Annie Nye being thrilled about it, she's ordering them by the boxcar load right now. Gluten, Eric, you said you didn't know gluten earlier. It is a protein that's found in wheat, barley, and rye, and it's responsible for the elasticity and texture of dough, making it essential here in the United States, because you were just talking about Annie's trip to Italy. That wasn't a problem for her over there. But in most baked goods here in the United States, it's used that way.
I've heard gluten quite often, but just not done the education to figure out what it is. I'm sure that I was a gluten eater. I would consider myself highly gluten.
You know what?
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And this is Erin Enderlin on the Assembly Food Hall stage. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
You
Cody.
rocking the home jersey this morning.
Well, you know, I'm a big fan of birthdays and any reason to celebrate. So the Opry birthday, your dog's birthday, anybody call me, I'm here.
I love this. She walked in. I said, "Oh, she's got our merch on, and it looks so good." And you said it reminds me of being a Girl Scout when I have my vest with all the patches.
I love it.
It's got patches all over it for everybody who's listening on the radio. Mother Church, WSM. It's got the guitar that says "Thanks" on the shoulder. Just looks good.
Yeah, I love it. Also, I've been on the road for like a month straight, and so this was clean. So I was like, I'll grab this.
Do girls do the smell test like guys do?
Oh, you know it.
We don't admit it usually, but yeah, I mean, that's why we own Febreze.
I can get through the day with this.
Sure. Yes. They should Febreze should probably just be like every tour sponsor.
Right? It's not a bad idea. I need a little travel one.
You were a Girl Scout in Arkansas growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? 4-H?
I was not 4-H.
Okay.
I'm not quite that talented. But I did go to like my friends' 4-H shows and stuff, you know. Got to go see the cows and the goats and the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good to see you. I was just thinking, you mentioned being on the road for a month. You were out with Trisha Yearwood, right?
I was.
What was that like? What did you learn?
Everything. It was incredible. You know, I tell people all the time I feel like a kid in a country music candy store, but I just get to do all these incredible things, and Trisha's so awesome. And I was out with Trisha and our buddy Sonny Sweeney, who introduced me to Trisha, and we just had a good time and just getting to listen to both of them every night. It's awesome when you're out playing music with people that you're like, oh man, I get to go to like all my shows every night.
Now I know it was a tour schedule and you guys had a lot of things happening back to back, but did you get to write with Trisha yet? Because she said this is the first time she's ever in her career actually written her own stuff, and I am so excited for her.
It's awesome. Her new record's coming out the 18th, and I've got 2 songs on that.
Good.
And I went to Ireland, Northern Ireland, for the first time last year, and I was flying back, and I get off the plane, and I have like all of these alerts on my phone. I was like, oh my God, what did I miss? You know, and Trisha texted me and our buddy Moose Brown and was like, hey, do y'all want to play the CMT Awards with me on this song that we wrote? And then she's like, hello, like, I guess I'm not cool enough. Like, I guess you're not going to be there, blah, blah. I was like, I was on an international flight.
Oh, no.
But it was so cool. And
That's awesome.
She's such an amazing writer. It really kind of floored me that maybe for a little while, that wasn't a part of her thing, because she just is a very natural storyteller. She's one of those singers that can get inside a character, get inside a story, and she's so good at storytelling. It seems like it's only natural.
Interesting backstory on that. She was a student at Belmont, and she said, when I turned 60, I had to let this go. A college professor unknowingly told her, had no idea the impact it was going to have, what a great singer she was, but she wasn't much of a writer.
Yeah.
And she said that got in her head, and she just did not write. And when she hit 60, you go, that's gone.
Yeah.
Did you have someone who encouraged you when you
I've had so many people that have encouraged me. I think it is important to tell those stories too, though, so that people, when they're out there and maybe hear something like that, they can be like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I remember when I was in college here at MTSU, I came here like everybody else to write songs and sing songs, and my biggest dream was to play the Opry. And people would be like, well, do you know how hard that is? Like, your plumber's a songwriter too. Like, everybody in this town is a songwriter. Everybody's a singer. And then when I was a senior in college, I got an Alan Jackson cut with Patti Loveless. They put out as a single. I mean, just crazy things. And then people were like, well, yeah, but you're not an artist and you'll never play the Opry. And, now I've gotten to play it over like 25 times.
Good for you. I didn't know what the number was, but I know.
And Bill Cody was the first person ever to announce me.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we met for the first time backstage when
We
you
did.
handed me a CD of your stuff.
Man, back when we had CDs and you had to carry them with you.
That's right.
That was the day. I love it. So now when you talk to people, do you have somebody, you don't have to call them by name, or you can if you want, but is there somebody who was that person telling you how hard it was and it's going to be tough, that now is like, hey, can you get me tickets to your show? I'd love to come and see you. I always knew you could do it.
I mean, I think you always have some of that, but also, like, I've been so lucky to have so many cheerleaders and so many amazing people to have support with. It's funny, Sonny and I and some other folks like Kayla Ray and people, we've got a text group, and so when we have, like, our little moments, maybe like when the sound guy at your show keeps asking your guitar player what the sound should be like instead of you, and you're like, hello, like, I'm actually the one on the bill.
Yeah.
So we share our little moments, and we get to laugh at them, each other, and also build each other up if we got a song coming out or something cool happens. So There's a really great community here that I've been so lucky to. Susie Boggess was one of my first
Love her.
big supporters. I mean, I went out to a show when I was 19 here in town. Susie was doing a jazz record. And I said, hey, you know, if I wanted to be a doctor, I could go to a hospital and find somebody to talk to, but I want to do what you do. And she was nice enough to be like, okay, come back and let's have coffee.
Love Susie. She is just a girl's girl and always has been that supportive with everybody.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
she's
interesting.
awesome.
We talk about your friendship with Trisha and being on tour. You know, we ran Garth off the first time, and he went back to Oklahoma. He came back and
That's
then
right.
conquered the world as
Yeah.
we know it. But, you know, not taking no for an answer sometimes is just what you have to do,
That's
even
right.
through all the emotional pain, are things that you hold on to, like Trisha
Yeah.
was regarding her songwriting.
And we're all on a journey, you know, like we're not at the end of the race at the beginning or the middle. So maybe there's growing and different things. I've always tried to look at it. I had some great folks that were nice enough to listen to my songs when I came to town. And I played Monday morning church and a song about my cat dying for a couple of publishers in the same meeting, you know? So, like, I didn't always know what I was doing.
Well, maybe help a struggling singer-songwriter out there this morning with how did your publishing deal come about?
You know, one of the things, I had a trapper keeper. I don't know if that's
Loved
still
it.
a thing. I think it's kind of like coming back.
Yeah.
But I had a trapper keeper that I got when I came here, and I would just go see all the shows, watch all the songwriters, meet all the people I could, and I would put their business cards or write their names in my trapper keeper and a little description of, like, where did I meet them, you know, who they were, like, if there was some connection we had, you know, like, we both wrote letters to Reba when we were 5 or something. And I would just, you know, see, like, if people would go have lunch or get together and talk and just listen a lot. I think that's really important, and just to meet people and find kind of who you jive with, and follow your heart with the stuff that you love. Like, I've been really lucky to be here in Nashville for 25 years now, and I do a certain thing, and that's what I do, and I try to just be true to that because, you know, you're the only you in the world, so you got something special to offer.
That sounds like a song.
I'll talk to you after. That's splits.
He's angling for a third.
Set this up for me when you look at me that we're going to feature, and then you're going to play live in the next segment.
So this new song, When You Look at Me, I've been lucky enough for the last 2.5 years to be a part of a really cool program called Songwriting with Soldiers, and it's an amazing program. I've got several veterans in my family, and I feel like it's so incredible to watch this work and to get to be a part of it. I've met so many incredible people. And I basically get to go in, and with this song, I sat down with a couple who both happen to be veterans, and get to just listen to their story and then get to try to tell a piece of that. And I think that music, you always see like music heals, and it's so true because it has a certain property to music that sometimes helps you talk about things that maybe are hard. And I think that storytelling is really powerful. When you're able to tell your own story, whether it's through song or whatever, it gives you a certain power back over that. And Tanya and Brent Fogelman, they're incredible folks. And it's Tanya Stroke Fogelman. I've been practicing. She was 30 years in the Royal Norwegian military, I believe.
Wow.
And they're both just the coolest people you've ever met. But they've been through a lot, both positive and negative, and I got to sit down and tell a little piece of their story. And I think that this song, I hope what it does is go out there and maybe somebody else will hear it and feel a little bit less alone, and feel like maybe, like we're kind of talking about, you know, everything's a journey. So even if you're not maybe where you want to be today, as long as you're putting that next foot forward, as long as you're walking forward, if you're not okay, that's okay also. You know, you just keep moving forward.
Erin Enderlin on the Assembly Food Hall stage, all over the world on WSM Radio, Circle Country Television. When You Look at Me.
Coffee, Country, and Cody. More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Erin Enderlin is our special guest, our longtime friend, and got the guitar out, and I'll have you play and sing here in just a little bit. And We've covered a lot of territory this morning, but let's talk about first. When you got to MTSU, what would have been the first venue you remember playing with just you and your guitar, just like you are this morning?
Yeah, I played this little place. I think it was called Bricked. Well, no, maybe it was Bricktops. I don't know. It was like in a, it was in a strip mall somewhere. And then I used to play a show over, I don't know if y'all know, the Crazy Horse, which is leaving now. They had a songwriter show downstairs while the other ladies attraction were upstairs.
Yeah.
So you could hear.
I've
you
seen
were just,
the sign. I've
yeah.
never been in it, but yeah, I've seen the sign.
So that was just trying to make my mama proud, you know.
There you go.
I've never been in it. Is that the story we're going with?
I swear. When she said that, I was like, "Oh, I've seen that. Oh, I remember what that sign is." Because the K in crazy is a lady's legs, right? On the
Yes.
sign.
It's an adult venue.
Sure is.
But downstairs till like 5 o'clock or whatever, it
Right.
was
What?
a suitable. Well,
Okay.
I don't know.
Have you ever
more
heard of
suitable.
the historic Bluebonnet Palace in Selma Shirts, Texas, outside San Antonio?
No, but it sounds amazing.
And
Did you have a punch card? What's
it
going
was
on?
huge, first of all. Literally on stage with Keith Whitley, hosting Keith Whitley on one end and bull riding going on in the other end.
Yes.
I need to go back. Wait, Erin, what did a gig like that pay? Is the question.
I don't think it did. I think it was tips. And I think most of the guys were saving their money for upstairs. But the great thing was when, like, somebody would slide down the pole just right, so you got, the rhythm and the bass.
I thought you were going to say that the dollar fell out. Then you got it. Okay. Holy cow.
I'm so glad I asked.
I just wondered. I was
Yeah.
like, that could pay well. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told that story, so, Bill, I'm glad that we talked about that today.
There's certain things that are
Erin-
meant for this show.
Erin Enderlin, The Dark Years, next on VH1.
I was young and naive. I would just, people would be like, you want to come play? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to.
Sure. Well, I'm glad they didn't ask you to wear something because that would have been really weird. That would have been a whole different show.
It would have been a very different show.
Very different show. Holy cow.
What you gonna play and sing?
I'm going to play a new one that I wrote with my buddy Shani Sweeney and Dylan Altman.
All right. And that guitar have a history, that Gibson you're playing this morning?
I got a J200 that I love, but my shoulder no longer loves, so I went and got this. It's a LG00. It's a 1949.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know who owned it before me, but I feel like there's a lot of good ghost in it, which is good for writing.
Yeah. Share something with us.
I'll do it.
Erin Enderlin. My goodness gracious. See, if you can do that, you can become the Arkansas Hall of Fame, the Music Hall of Fame Entertainer of the Year.
Woo.
What was that like?
Arkansas.
To go back home and be recognized like that. And
I'm from Arkansas and I love it, and I still I just love going. I go back quite a bit, and I have a lot of family there, and I just love it. And Arkansas has a lot of music history. I feel like Arkansas is one of those states that you don't know anything about us, we don't care.
well, I mean, just a quick
come
list
for
of
the duck hunting and go home.
Yeah.
just a quick list of the Hall of Famers, no particular year: Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell, Ed Bruce, Conway Twitty, Levon Helm, Charlie Rich, Lefty Frizzell, Floyd Kramer. I mean, at a
Pete
glance.
Stout.
Yeah.
And I think something else interesting about Arkansas is I grew up in a singer-songwriter kind of community. They had a lot of singer-songwriter shows, which a lot of people, Nashville's the place to do that. But so I kind of got a cool experience doing that.
I think a cool experience is you tour with Trisha Yearwood for a month,
yeah.
and then you come back, and last night you played Bobby's Idol Hour.
Oh, yeah. Vicky Vaughn invited me out for her ladies' night, and it was so much fun. And I may or may not be wearing most of the same clothes.
That Febreze came in handy because I don't smell a thing.
Little Bobby's Idol Hour in the room this morning, a little leftover from Erin Enderlin last night. Thank you so much for getting up early and coming in, though.
Thank y'all so much for having me, and thank you for highlighting Songwriting with Soldiers, and I hope folks will check that out. Songwriting with Soldiers, they got a website and all that kind of stuff. I've got stuff posted on my socials, but it's a great organization, and proud to be a little piece of it.
You coming back to the Opry anytime soon? You got a
I
date?
hope.
Okay, you don't have a date, though.
No, but
Gina.
that could
Gina.
change real fast.
Hello, Gina. Hello, page
My
Jean.
email is.
Don
But I
Schlitz.
will be back next on the 19th. I'm going to come out and celebrate Trisha Yearwood's album with her.
Oh,
Okay.
very cool.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah, Don Schlitz told Gina Kellner. This was before he became a member. He would get a call from her once in a while to play the Opry, book him. And he'd say, "Oh, you got to the S's."
Oh my gosh, Don.
Erin Enderlin, Assembly Food Hall stage on Coffee, Country, and Cody. Thank you. That is Kelsey Ballerini, Grand Ole Opry star, and Kelly Sutton's running buddy. And I love that yellow dress. For those of you who are watching on Circle Television, I love come on it. Every time we've aired that, I'm like, man, that's a good looking dress. You need to ask her if when she gets, you add that to your wardrobe when she gets ready to
When
get
she's
rid
done
of
with it,
Yeah.
she doesn't.
She's no
She
Carly
doesn't
Pierce.
wear the same size as me. I think that I
we
don't.
could have it
I
totally.
might get it on one leg. I could walk around and show you what it would look like on one of my legs. But I am not a Kelsey Ballerini size.
She seems tall in the videos.
She's
Is she
very
tall?
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Kelsey's probably 5'7", 5'8", and then
Yeah,
she wears
okay.
she wears heels as well. So that just makes it even. She's even taller, and she's mostly all legs. So me standing next to her is quite comical. It's
Tall
like,
girl, short girl.
huh? And I'm 5'3", but I always have on heels, and so people think I'm taller than I am.
Yeah.
But if you see me at the Opry, I'm the only one that has a little step stool that's behind the scenes.
An apple box, we call it.
Yeah.
Thank you again to Erin Enderlin. She's just delightful. I've loved her for the longest. Just second I met her backstage years and years ago at the Opry, and she's in the darkness back there. Mr. Cody, can I give you my CD?
Oh, back in the day. That's
Many
great.
years ago.
That is so
But
great.
good morning, Bill Cody. Love the music of Erin Enderlin. She sounds great this morning. Truckin' Phil, Semper Fi, Fort Wayne, Indiana, checking in. Kelly.
All right. Hello, Fort Wayne. Good morning. Thanks for writing in and letting us know that you're listening to us. Hey, if you want to come hang out for the Academy of Country Music Honors, it is happening. This is the 18th year. It's going to be on August the 20th. And this year, it's at the Pinnacle. So the Pinnacle at Nashville Yards, not at the Ryman, for the first time in many, many, many years. However, tickets are on sale this Friday. And let me tell you who's going to be honored, because it's pretty incredible. Eric Church is getting the Icon Award. Jelly Roll ACM Lifting Lives Award. Randy Travis will get the ACM Milestone Award. The movie Twisters will be giving the ACM Film Award. Luke Combs, who scored a #1 hit with 8-11 Oklahoma, will be getting ACM International Award. Cody Johnson is ACM Spirit Award, which was inspired by Merle Haggard. And Lainey Wilson gets the Artist Songwriter of the Year Award. So all those people probably going to be there. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but pretty likely. If you want to get tickets, again, pre-sale is today and on sale tomorrow. You can see it. Well, Dolly has come out and said, you know what? All of my new music that I haven't finished yet going to be put on hold for a little while. She was actually on one of the Kardashians' podcasts. I did not see that happening, but she was with Khloe Kardashian on her podcast, and she said, you know, I don't really have writer's block, but since Carl passed away, there are a lot of songs that I had started that I'm just not going to finish, at least not for a while. She said it's just been really hard, especially some of the more upbeat songs. She said it's an emotional time right now, so things like that are just going to be put away for a little bit, and I'll have to come back to them. She said, I'll write through it, but everything's on hold for a while. Now, we do know that the musical, it starts next week. So I don't know when previews start, but I think the opening night is either 18th or 19th. So we're going to get Dolly the Musical at Belmont happening next week. And one more story for you. Disney, well, they closed a lot of things, and hopefully it wasn't one of your favorites. But if you've ever been on the steamboat all around the rivers of America in Disney World, that is no longer. I remember riding this. It was one of my favorite things. It's right there in Liberty Square. So this steamboat, gone. The river that it was on, gone. Tom Sawyer Island, where you could go across and run through all of these different trails, and they had all kinds of cool stuff over there, all closed to make way for the new Cars ride that's going to be there. And then behind all of that is going to be Villains Land, but it closed earlier this week.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Music from Opry 100 honors Charlie Daniels and Kelly Sutton. You were there to host that night. David Corlew. Welcome in on the Assembly Food Hall stage this morning. It's great to see you, Hoss.
Well, it's always wonderful to see you guys. It's like seeing family, and we get to see each other some, but not as much as obviously we used to, and it's such a joy.
I just want you to know that your memories of Crown and Cranberry in Mr. Acuff's living room on occasion has lived on since your last visit to the studio.
Yeah, well, maybe I spilt the beans, but it was a fun time, and they showed a clip of Charlie doing a song with Roy the other night at the tribute, and it brought back a lot of memories. Charlie just loved Roy Acuff. I mean, he literally grew up and cut his teeth, listening to Roy on the radio.
I love when Charlie would do Fireball Mail. Dallas bound, Fireball Mail.
That was the coolest video because Mr. Acuff is standing there and you could see Charlie. He's like, you could see the sparkle in his eyes because he's like, I'm about to do Wabash Cannonball and Mr. Acuff doesn't know. And he kicks into it. And when the recognition hits on Roy's face, he's like, you're doing my song. That was really, it's just one of those.
When I was having early conversations about Charlie, I knew he always wanted to be a member of the Opry, and I'd had an executive ask, well, Charlie, because we actually started out as a rock band. I mean, we were touring with the Allman Brothers and Rolling Stones and Rod Stewart. This is all back in the 70s, and they said, well, we're just trying to understand Charlie's roots. And I go, he grew up on a dirt floor listening to Roy Acuff and Bill Monroe. I said, you can't get any more country than that.
And he adored Little Jimmy Dickens, too.
Oh, yeah, he loved Little Jimmy. He loved the Opry, and it was such a wonderful memory to see that when they showed the induction. I mean, when Martina McBride asked him, he literally was lost for words. There was a part of the clip that, of course, didn't run, but he said, I came here in 1955, and he said, I sat right there. He pointed right at the seat where he sat when he was 14 years old, and he said, one day I'm going to be on that stage, and there he was, and all of the grandeur. And it was one of the true joys of his heart.
You were with him for 50 years?
47 years.
And how many of those as manager?
I started managing him in 1988.
Okay.
So I went to work for him in 1973.
What was your first job?
My first job was driving a van and setting up equipment. There was a air personality in Nashville at the time named Scott Shannon, Super Shan.
Yeah.
He was on WMAK, I think, and Scott and I have remained friends over all these years. But they had a record store down in Hillsborough Village, and it was during the kind of the hippie movement and so that Vanderbilt, Belmont, Scarrett College, that was all kids, and during the 60s, that was kind of like the Haight-Ashbury of Nashville. And I was actually working on a dynamite crew. I was shooting dynamite, and I was working outside, and it was winter, and I was looking for a job inside, and I took that job. I got a job. In those days, you looked in the newspaper and found, and there was an opening for a record store clerk. And I said, that's inside. They've got a heater. I'm going there. So I went down there, and we sold bell-bottoms and rolling papers and pipes and music. And I fell in love with music, but at the same time, being in Hillsborough Village, we were right across the street from Pancake Pantry, and all the Music Row, all the session guys and stuff would come in and buy music. And I met Christofferson and met everybody, but that's where I met Charlie. And he asked me, he said, we're looking for someone to drive a van and set up equipment. I knew nothing about equipment. I knew nothing about really music except what I had read on the back of album covers. And I said, I'll take the job. And I saw America through the windshield of a 1971 Chevrolet van with Charlie Daniels.
So it was,
what a wonderful memory.
I can't even imagine all the stories that you have, but is there one in particular where y'all might have gotten into a little mischief and escaped away
Well, there
in
was
the nick of time?
There was a lot of times when we got in trouble as far as mischief is concerned. But it's I don't know about mischief, but I tell you one of the great stories that really kind of represents Charlie for who he was is as time went on, and then when we did Fire on the Mountain, which is in the late 70s, and Charlie, we had gone from making $200 a night or $250 a night. We're starting to make money, and we did Fire on the Mountain. It had long-haired country boys, so it's going to do it. It's a huge success. And Sony signed him to, in the late 70s, signed him to a $3 million deal for 6 albums, which was a huge deal for someone at that time. Sony signed him to it, and they had a press conference in Los Angeles, and they asked Charlie, they said, well, you're a country boy, you come from North Carolina, you suckered tobacco, and now you're a millionaire. What are you going to do with some of that money? And he said, I think I'll buy a new set of tires for my pickup truck. Instead of saying I'm going to buy, everybody buys a big jacked up truck nowadays and buys a big house and stuff. He said, I think I'll get a new set of tires for my backup truck. But we were always, as far as mischief, we played all these rough places in the early days. I mean, we really did play a few clubs that had screens, partial screens on the stage, and where people couldn't throw bottles at you. But there were a lot of times when we had to collect our last money out of. We might be taking a crowbar and opening up a Coke machine and getting our last $50 out of the Coke machine or the vending machine. We were going to get our money.
Yeah.
We were a bunch of rednecks from Tennessee. We made sure we got paid.
That's good.
You went to Overton, didn't you?
I did.
Overton
I
High
went
School
to
here,
Overton
too?
High School,
Yeah.
and I actually grew up in West Nashville in the elementary school years. I grew up over on West End and Murphy Road, so I was a street kid. And family moved out in Creve Hall in the 60s, and so
Well, there are a lot of families moving back to Creve Hall.
yeah.
That's a hot
Well,
spot in
we all
Nashville.
moved. We all moved because of 440. They started building 440 in 62 or 63, and I grew up rough. I grew up in a lower middle class family, and there were like 10 of us in a 4 or 5 room house, so we grew up pretty rough. And so they were able to condemn those places and get you out of there so they could build 440. But when they started going through Green Hills and the wealthier parts of Nashville with 440, it took them 20-something years to get 440 built. Just with the lawsuits and stuff, people didn't want the highway to come through.
Well, Opry honors Charlie Daniels. Opry honors Porter Wagoner coming. That'll be the next one. Porter and Charlie run around together at all?
I think just mostly at the Opry.
Okay.
Again, as we started out, because we started out with Uneasy Rider and it was a pop song, we were really considered a pop music group until Urban Cowboy. And so I always said Urban Cowboy was the greatest thing that happened for Charlie, and then not Urban Cowboy, but Devil Went Down to Georgia. It made Devil Went Down to Georgia a huge hit. The other side of that, it kind of pigeonholed him as a country act, and he was a country act, but he was also a Southern rock act. He really had found a genre of his own, and so it had its ups and downs. But Devil, has just continued to reinvent itself over the years, and obviously got us to a point, it took us a lot of different directions. Of course, the military direction is where we gravitated because of his patriotism and things.
Yeah.
So.
Catch us up before we wrap up on the Journey Home Project and what's going on.
The Journey Home Project is alive and well. We're excited. We're getting ready to celebrate our 12th year. We have an event coming up September 11th at the City Winery. We're very excited about it. We're going to honor the survivors of the Benghazi debacle, the guys, the 13 hours in Benghazi, the guys that were on the roof, and then the parents of the fallen. And so, we're good. And then we were able to honor the Grand Ole Opry by presenting them with the Charlie Daniels Patriot Award. We give 3 of those awards away a year to a company or a foundation or a warrior that kind of goes above and beyond their in supporting our veteran community.
I've noticed that Charlie Jr. has kept Benghazi Ain't Going Away very much alive on Charlie's website and socials.
You know, there was so much to that story, and whether it comes out now or not, our journey is to honor the fallen and then continue to honor those that and those guys came out with a lot of inside wounds, as so many others from the 20-year war on terrorism. And so that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. That was when I look back working for Charlie, and I think about all obviously the joy and fun we had. I think about the gifts that I got from Charlie, and when Charlie passed away, I had no idea what I was going to do. And then, you know, the foundation was there, and I thought, and so I'll spend the rest of my life now. I'm kind of transitioned out of the music business. I just sold my share of Blue Hat Records, which was Charlie's label, and I think I'm going to transition into a part of music that will work well with the veterans and give us the opportunity to continue to help these men and women that have served our country so well.
Well, celebrating your 75th birthday recently, you did that by getting kicked by a 500-pound bull and fracturing your ankle.
Yeah, I fractured it in a big way. I had a buddy of mine call say, every time you do something, you do it in a big way. And I've had cattle for probably over 40 years, my wife and I, and every spring we work our calves. And we had a bull that needed to be doctored, and
apparently didn't want to be doctored.
Didn't want to be doctored, and we still do everything horseback. And what happened was the hind feet, we hadn't healed all the bigger calves, and one of the calves' foot slipped out. That 500-pound bull, his foot slipped out, broke my ankle in 6 places. I think I've got 16 screws, 3 plates. I had probably a little over 100 stitches in my leg. That's been 9 weeks ago. And so, by the grace of God, I didn't get kicked in the head or in an internal organ, but ran into a surgeon at the Opry the other night and said he looked at my x-rays. I have my x-rays and stuff on the phone, and he said I was lucky I didn't lose my legs. So, wow. It's healing, and I feel good and ready to keep moving.
Well, Kelly, he's a man's man, because you said instead of using his cane, he hung it on the podium next to you.
You hung the cane on the podium and walked out to the center stage, and I'm looking at him like, you don't need this. And then you walked backstage and forgot it, and I had to grab it and run it back to you.
So I got in trouble with Kelly, but I was really in trouble because I was supposed to be on a walker.
Right.
I left the walker. I was too vain to walk out there
I
on
knew
a
you
walker.
would be.
I said, I'll be damned if I'm going to walk. I was going to walk into the Opry on a walker.
Right,
I'm not going to do that.
I knew it.
David Corlew, thank you so much for coming to see us this morning and remembering Charlie Daniels as a part of Opry Honors 100.
Thank you for having me, and God bless you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. It's wonderful.
All right. Come back soon.
Take care.
Okay. It's Coffee Country and Cody all over the world on WSM Radio. From that celebration, Trace Atkins is here.
Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Happy birthday, Mavis Staples of the Staples Singers. Cheryl Wheeler, the great songwriter, is 74. Arlo Guthrie is 78. Baylor Fleck is 67. Ken Mellons, the jukebox junkie, is 60 today. And Gary LaBox of Rascal Flatts, Grand Ole Opry family members, 55 years old. Jessica Simpson's got a birthday day. She's 45.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
all right.
Kelly Sutton's Entertainment, your final report of the morning.
All right, well, we are talking about our buddy Ray Stevens and sending him all the best. He had a heart attack that actually happened on Friday. So this just came out, I think it was, when did they release that? Just
couple
days ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I was actually at the Opry with his publicist, and I said, how is he doing? And he said, he's okay. It wasn't a heart attack where they found him or anything like that. He just had some chest pains, and then he went to the hospital, and then they ran the test, and they were like, yeah, He had a mild heart attack, and he's got some stuff that's going on now. So still in the hospital, but we'll keep you up to date. He's 86 years old.
that?
Still has a lot of dates that are scheduled at his place, Cabaret, here in Nashville. So those have been put on hold for the time being. But yeah, just sending out our best wishes to our friend Ray Stevens this morning. Well, if you're heading to Las Vegas, get ready for the songwriters because they are coming your way. I love when I hear about new songwriters festivals because it feels like a piece of Nashville that we kind of take for granted. We get to go see somebody, the listening room, or we're going down to 3rd and Lindsley, and there are a bunch of songwriters there. But this is going to be happening August 21st, the first ever Las Vegas Songwriters Festival. And the lineup is key. You got Lee Bryce there. He's going to be kicking it off. But it's going to be at the House of Blues in Las Vegas, and it features songwriters behind hit number ones, I Drive Your Truck, Hard to Love, and more. Billy Montana, Bobby Pinson, Brian Davis, Jared Neiman, Justin Wilson, Lance Miller, Liz Rose, Phil Barton, Rob Hatch, so many others are going to take the stage. Again, Mandalay Bay, you can be there August 21st through the 24th. Tickets are on sale right now if you want to see some songwriters. We talked about it earlier, but I want to make sure everybody knows if you are gluten-free, this one is for you. You've been missing your Cheez-Its. They're coming. Don't worry. Cheez-Its heard you. They heard you loud and clear. The gluten-free Cheez-Its are on the way. You got to wait till next year, but they are coming. It just says blank, blank 2026. So we're not sure the actual release date.
How long could it possibly take to make a Cheez-It? Get it out this year. Our girl Annie Nye needs this now that she's back stateside.
Well, now that you ask, Bill Cody, here's what they had to say. We've been hard at work to make sure that we had the best recipe to process, to bring the same iconic, cheesy, crunchy, salty, delicious flavor to Cheez-Its that fans crave for those who have missed us. So it takes a while. Somebody is in a laboratory concocting this, and it's coming your way in 2026. Yeah, this was like national news. It was on Good Morning America, so I wanted to make sure everybody knew about it. ACM honors are going to be happening very soon. If you haven't been, this is a really cool show. Basically, it's all of the honors that don't get televised on the ACM Awards, which we had in Texas earlier this year. So ACM is going to be honoring the following: Eric Church. He'll be there for the Icon Award. We are giving ACM Lifting Lives Award to Jelly Roll for his charitable work. That's a great pick. Randy Travis is getting the ACM Milestone Award. The movie Twisters will be given the ACM Film Award. Luke Combs, who scored a #1 hit with 811 Oklahoma on that soundtrack, is getting the ACM International Award. ACM Spirit Award is going to Cody Johnson. And our Artist Songwriter of the Year this year is Lainey Wilson. Pre-sales for the show start today. You can get those tickets if you got the pre-sale code. If you don't, regular sales go on sale tomorrow. It's going to be happening on August the 20th. And this year, moving to the Pinnacle. That's a big move because it's been at the Ryman for a number of years.
And I got an email yesterday from Shotzi Hageman, Hot Shots PR.
Hey, Shotzi.
That Reese Palmer is getting the ACM Lift Every Voice Award.
Oh, that's
as
so
a part
great.
of honor. Yeah, so I was thrilled for her. She's been a longtime friend and guest on the
Yes.
show many times.
We need to have her in. I haven't talked to her in a minute.
Congratulations, Reese.
Last time we had her in, we were still at the old studio. So, yeah, Reese, if you're listening, let us know. We'd love for you to come in and hang out. We talked about it earlier, but Dolly says new music is going to be put on hold for a while. This was interesting. She was on a podcast with one of the Kardashians. Khloe Kardashian has a podcast now. Didn't know that. It's called Khloe Kardashian in Wonderland. And she just said, basically, since Carl passed away, my songwriting's kind of been put on hold. She said, I had a lot of songs that were in the works and that were halfway finished, and I just needed to work on them. And really thinking about some of those happier songs, I just need a minute to process what's been going through. And I can see that. They were married for almost 60 years. So she said, going to put that on hold. However, next week, the musical is making its debut right here in Nashville. That's going to be at Belmont University. So Dolly, the musical, is debuting next week. And one more story for you. Disney fans all around the world, I know your heart is breaking, but a lot of those iconic things that we used to ride or play on Tom Sawyer Island, They're closed. They knew it was coming. They made a big announcement, but it actually happened earlier this week. So the steamboat, the actual rivers of America is what they called the river that it was on. And then Tom Sawyer Island, that was the attraction that you could go over and go through all the caverns and caves and everything. All of that has since been closed. The water is being drained. That is now going to be Pixar Land with Cars. So a new Cars attraction coming to Disney World. And then behind that, later on, another big extension, they're going to be doing Villains Land. So they say it's the biggest expansion they've ever had at the Magic Kingdom.
So if you want to ride a steamboat, you got to come to Nashville and hop on the General Jackson. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And
We don't have a mouse.
And you have to walk right by Paula Dean's to get to the boat. So
Stop and get some banana pudding on the way. That's right.
Kelly Sutton Entertainment. I'm Bill Cody. Thank you, Eric Markham, for being in this morning. Annie Nye, our studio director, master control. That's Jeff Roberts. This is WSM.